What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and today we're going to talk about what everybody's been asking me over and over and over again: how to get mastery fast. Now, that said, I just want to say this now. Lots of people seem to think that I grind my mastery like super duper fast and stuff like that. That is not true. I am not necessarily the fastest mastery grinder or anything like that. I actually, it's mostly just because I've been on Trove for like such a long time that I've got my mastery maxed out. Another small thing that I do want to point out is lots of people always ask, since mastery recently went up to 300, everyone's always asking, dude, how'd you get mastery 300 so quickly? I already had mastery 300 for a month or two before they actually upped the mastery cap. In fact, right now, if you type /mastery, my mastery is at 332 right now. So if they ended up upping the cap to 350, I would be close to it, but I don't expect that to happen for quite some time. That's because just because of the mastery cap doesn't mean that you can't get over that. Now, without further ado, the fastest way that you're going to want to actually gain mastery is every single class. Once you actually max them out, now I want to try and get this across here because lots of people get confused by this stupid little interface right here that the devs put in. Seriously, it confuses everybody, and I wish that they would fix it. XP 20, that is your experience level. That is the level of your character. So at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see the experience bar growing up. 20 is the maximum character level. And then everything else, the reason we're level 42 is because our gear got us to 22 extra levels. That is because all of those little orbs that you see on our gear right there, 2468, 2468, 2468, that is where you end up getting your extra levels. Now, why does it say requires level 5? Oh, that's right. Nah, it's irrelevant. Anyway, as you're leveling up all your classes and stuff like that, for every character that you get to XP level 20, you're going to end up getting 5 total mastery levels. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get all 5 levels once you actually reach level 20. It's that maxing out a character sporadically throughout the level ups, you're going to be getting mastery points, and ultimately you're going to get 5 levels. So right there, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 mastery levels right then and there, so long as you end up maxing out all your classes. But when you're just starting out, I know that that can be a problem because unfortunately there's not that many way to get qubits to actually buy these characters for free, because the only way that you can get qubits is by doing the starting quests. Those go away permanently after you've completed them, and then of course by doing your daily quests, which only show up once a day and unfortunately don't give you enough considering the amount of content that's in the game. Now, another very quick and easy way of leveling up, so long as you have the resources, is with the professions. So gardening, rune crafting, which that one's actually extremely brutal to mastery up, and then ring crafting, which actually isn't even that bad. So long as you have all the proper resources, because first, for the way that the levels work with all of the professions is as you end up creating things in the first tier here. So for example, if we create 1 unripe compost, it means that we would have gotten 1 skill level. I don't remember what it is, but I think to unlock the dabbler abilities, I think you had to be level 25 or something. I'm not exactly sure, but as you can see, it requires water, which requires a sponge, so on and so forth. So once you end up getting to the next tier, then the only way to progress level in this profession, this is how all of them work generally, is you're going to only end up getting points based on things that you create in the dabbler, and then so on and so on and so on. And ultimately, you're going to be in the green thumb until your mastery, until you're level 250, so that you can actually craft all the last stuff. That's going to give you a ton of mastery right there if you can max out any of the professions. Rune crafting, I would not recommend going for it first because it requires blank scrolls. And scrolls at the beginning of the game not only unlock recipes, but they also give 1 mastery per. So do style unlockers as well. So eventually, see, you can get to the metallic block recipes. Even this one right here, like this is all giving you 1 mastery per. So if you unlock 100 weapon styles just from killing enemies and stuff like that and taking them to the loot collector, then you're gonna end up getting 1 level, because the way that mastery works is it takes 100 points to get yourself 1 mastery. or one mastery level. Like this progression bar is 100 points, and then you get one mastery level. So that's why we're at 320,000 or whatever for our mastery, because we're at rank 300 plus, right? The other thing too that I would recommend for new players, let me see if I can actually find one right now. I very much doubt that I'm gonna get lucky, because I never end up getting lucky like this during recording to find what I actually want. But if you end up going around, fishing is also a very good way of getting mastery, although it's very, very boring. Even myself, I don't have max fishing or anything like that. But what you're gonna want to look for is, while you're adventuring and stuff, fishing gives you tons and tons of Glim. More so than the old ghetto way. The way that we used to actually gather Glim, I remember doing this, and I actually have a funny video on it that's really, really old that I did with my brother Johnny, Captain Napkin. So anyway, you walk over grass, and as you're doing it, this is what I call lawnmowering it, and that is how we used to actually grind our Glim up, was just by running through these biomes, gathering all the Glim on the days that it was double Glim, which they actually didn't have all these fancy, like, they didn't have all these fancy days of the week way back. So every now and then it would be double Glim, and you would be going for that like crazy. Now, what I'm actually trying to find here is there are shops, like pirate ships, that you'll end up finding out in the ocean. And those are shops, and the way that those work, the reason that you want to actually look for them is if you have enough Glim, you can get yourself sails for your boats. And almost all of the sails, like where is it? In ships, there it is, in the sails right here. You're gonna notice a different level of rarity for most of them. So for example, these starter ones, which are the ones that you craft, except for the mastery one, only give you 10 each. But then as soon as you get up to the gold ones, they give you 20 mastery each. Now, the ones that you're searching for are all of these diamond ones, because they give you 50 mastery points. So as soon as you get 2 of these sails, that's 1 mastery level right there. These give exactly like the same amount of mastery that mounts give, because mounts are the other really big thing that you're going to be grinding to get your mastery up, because generally speaking, most of them are going to give you 50 mastery, except for certain ones will end up giving you a little bit more. Like all these default ones are just going to give you 50, unless you see gold ones like this, which give you 100 mastery. That is 1 whole level right there. And then in some of the other rarer cases, these are Trove of Wonder mounts, like Gonda right here gives you 2 mastery levels and a half. So very good. The other thing too that you're gonna want to be going for is the dragons, because as you get the fledgling, that's 50 points right there. The next level is 100 points, so that's a whole level right there. And the maxed out one gives you 250. So that is what is that? 2, 3, 4 mastery levels per maxed out dragon, I think, or something like that, except for the mastery one and the friendship dragon, which is kind of weird that they don't actually give you anything. The other thing too is the crafted mounts and stuff like that, but those are extremely brutal for when you're first starting out. I remember it took me a very long time to actually get those guys, but ultimately that's pretty much it as far as the fastest ways of getting mastery for somebody like myself, Scythe, Joe, and anyone who's actually got mastery right now. It's actually very difficult for me to get mastery from anything else, because I have almost all of the mounts. I think one of the only ones I'm missing is Alburn, and then out of the rare ones, I'm missing the Turtle Tank and the Cygnus Cycle, and that's pretty much it. Oh, I guess, and the Battle Arena ones, which I'm never going to get, and who cares anyway. That's the other thing too, is some mounts, like mastery mounts, and even the Warplane right here, oddly enough, doesn't give you any mastery, but most of the ones that you actually get from packs as well will actually give you mastery. So you're gonna want to take a peek at some of these. This pack right here, the collector's pack, if you actually are going to spend money and you are just starting out, the collector's pack is one of the best deals. It might even top the power pack in terms of, well, it actually does top the power pack in terms of mastery, because right then and there, you're gonna end up getting 12 free mounts, and they're giving you 50 mastery each, so that's 6 mastery levels. The 100 Omni Style Unlockers unlocks a piece of equipment. That's another mastery level right there. The hat, I don't know how much that gives, but the 2 golden chaos chests can potentially give you 2 more mounts, and if you end up getting one of the rarer ones, you might end up getting more mastery. At least I think. Rare mounts out of the chaos chest? No, okay. So the only gold ones are the Trove of Wonder ones. Otherwise, everything else is just going to give you 50 mastery for days. So the collector's pack ultimately is just very OP. But anyway, that's pretty much it. As far as mastery is concerned, those are the tips, I guess you could say, that I have used or learned over my course of just playing Trove for such a long time. Otherwise, everything else just gets more and more difficult the further you go along. In fact, right here, I'll just actually show you the mobility right here. The wings right here as well. Wings are a very efficient way of getting mastery because every set of wings gives you 1 mastery level, and mag riders are okay as well. But what I wanted to actually look at was the mounts here. And as you can see, like even this bouncing jelly thing, because I never fish, I actually can't even craft it. The Infinium Pemborg is pretty brutal at first, and overall, like the steed feet and just the robotic salvage and everything like that, it's just really, really crazy. So if you're gonna want to try and get any of those, you're gonna want to get your hands on any of the tomes that you can. They're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as the mastery that they give. It's mostly because of the items that they give. Like I just use the encyclopedia because I forge up most of my gear, but otherwise the cybernetic salvage, for example, gives you 15 robo salvage every time it actually maxes out, and these are based on experience that you get from fighting enemies and stuff like that. You only need to make 20,000 experience, so that's actually not that much grinding if you're actually handling U6 and stuff like that. Then the legendary tomes, though, they give 100 like 1 mastery each, so that's why, like, if you're going into the Shadow Tower and stuff, get your hands on the Tentacle Tract and the Eye Encyclopedia again, because that's 2 mastery levels right there, and that's only 2 lunar souls because they're only 1 each, so that's a lot cheaper than going for the like wings that are only gonna give you 1 level of mastery and stuff. And that's the other thing too, is keep in mind when you're looking at like what you're actually trying to go for. If you're going for mastery, always consider the fact that something might end up being worth more mastery and more cost efficient than getting something else. So for example, if you can get your hands on like the Royal Turtle, for example, is a very cheap mount. Let's actually take a peek right here. Royal Turtle. Did I type that wrong? Oh, it's okay. It's not a Royal Turtle. It's a Royal Tortoise. So anyway, you can see here he's only 34k, which is pretty cheap for a Trove of Wonder mount. The reason that I consider this cheap is because, for example, if you try to go for Squeakers, he's about the same price, if not bumped up to like 40 or 50k. But you gotta consider, Squeakers is only gonna give you 50 mastery. This turtle is gonna give you 100. So you're essentially paying 15 like K for 2 different mounts just so you can get this mastery. And that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to get up, like the point I'm trying to get across about keeping yourself efficient as far as getting mastery. But you'll find that as soon as you end up learning all this stuff and just how the game works in general, you're gonna end up leveling up mastery, no problem. Tons of people actually just came to Trove, and they get max mastery within like I think it's like a month or something, maybe a little bit over a month, maybe 2 months or something like that. It seriously is absolutely crazy, because for someone like me, the only reason I'm max mastery is because I've been playing this game for so long. Anyway, I hope that you found the video helpful, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for watching. If you did, I would very much appreciate if you would Hadouken the like button for me. That very much helps me out and makes the video show up for more people so that they can get these tips. Otherwise, as always, sayonara and stay epic, everybody.